Part 1. The gaps in the fossil record, hidden industrial echoes. The evidence begins with a profound, almost philosophical mystery, buried deep within Earth's fossil record. This record theoretically should chronicle the uninterrupted saga of life on our planet. Instead, it reads like a mutilated manuscript, the vast majority of its pages violently ripped out, leaving behind only tantalizing fragments that hint at chapters we can no longer access. Paleontologists, in a masterful understatement, refer to these missing sections as gaps, a term utterly inadequate to convey their staggering magnitude and abruptness. Consider the Cambrian explosion, an evolutionary singularity occurring approximately 540 million years ago. Suddenly, without discernible evolutionary precedent, complex multicellular life forms erupt into the fossil record as if an unseen hand had simply flipped a planetary switch. Prior to this epoch, the record is dominated by simple, often single-celled organisms, microbial mats, and enigmatic soft-bodied forms. Post-Cambrian, the oceans teem with an astonishing menagerie of creatures boasting intricate eyes, hardened exoskeletons, sophisticated digestive systems, and complex body plans that would eventually give rise to all modern phyla. This monumental transition, by conventional evolutionary theory, should have unfolded over millions of years of gradual incremental adaptation. Instead, it manifests with the explosive immediacy of a geological instantaneous event. The fossil record in its current state offers no coherent, universally accepted explanation for this dramatic, almost miraculous leap in biological complexity. But the Cambrian explosion is merely one, albeit spectacular instance of these enigmatic gaps. The fossil record is riddled with multiple periods where life appears to advance in sudden, inexplicable leaps, punctuated by periods of apparent stasis or even catastrophic decline. Species materialize, flourish for a geological blink, then vanish without obvious environmental triggers. New forms of life appear, seemingly ex nihilo, fully formed and perfectly adapted to their ecosystems, as if assembled from an unseen blueprint. Traditional explanations, the scientific establishment argues, point to preservation bias. Soft-bodied organisms rarely fossilize. Thus, we are invariably missing crucial evolutionary intermediates. Environmental conditions, such from ocean acidity shifts to tectonic activity, profoundly influence fossilization rates, creating these apparent gaps where gradual change, it is argued, must have occurred. These factors undoubtedly contribute to the lamentably incomplete record, a geological truth that every paleontologist acknowledges. However, a growing cohort of revisionist scientists posits that some gaps appear too systematic, too precisely synchronized, to be dismissed as mere random failures of preservation. They frequently coincide with abrupt and dramatic alterations in atmospheric composition, ocean chemistry, and global climate patterns, transformations that hint at something far beyond the slow, meandering cadence of normal evolutionary processes. Take the Great Oxidation Event, a planetary upheaval around 2 billion years ago. Oxygen levels in Earth's atmosphere surged with terrifying swiftness, a toxic deluge that indiscriminately poisoned the vast majority of existing anaerobic life forms. Yet, this very catastrophe simultaneously forged the evolutionary crucible for novel aerobic organisms, fundamentally reshaping the planet's biochemistry and biosphere. Scientists conventionally attribute this transformative event to the prolific photosynthetic activity of early cyanobacteria. However, the sheer rapidity and unprecedented scale of this atmospheric shift appear remarkably precise, almost engineered, for a purely natural, undirected biological process. The oxygen surge, when meticulously plotted on geological timelines, follows a pattern strikingly similar to what might transpire if an advanced civilization initiated large-scale, deliberate manipulation of atmospheric chemistry for planetary engineering. Similar unsettling patterns punctuate the fossil record, prolonged epochs of relative stability suddenly interrupted by violent dramatic changes that utterly reshape life on Earth. Mass extinctions, often of unexplained selectivity, followed by explosive diversification of entirely new species, and perhaps most tellingly, distinct chemical signatures embedded within rock layers that suggest massive, coordinated and non-natural alterations to fundamental planetary systems. These patterns, could plausibly be the convoluted outcome of natural processes we haven't yet fully unraveled. Earth's climate and chemistry operate through incredibly complex, often non-linear feedback loops that might produce sudden phase transition-like shifts under certain critical conditions. But the chilling possibility remains. They could also indicate something else entirely. What if some of these gaps and explosions represent periods when antecedent civilizations held sway over the planet? Their industrial activities, perhaps on scales we cannot yet fathom, might have so profoundly altered planetary environments that the majority of existing species succumbed, fabricating the apparent gaps in the fossil record. The subsequent, seemingly instantaneous emergence of new life forms might then represent either accelerated evolutionary responses to drastically altered conditions, a form of engineered adaptation, or, more provocatively, direct evidence of genetic manipulation by advanced, intelligent beings. The very rock layers themselves, silent witnesses to deep time, contain even stranger, more disturbing evidence. Every factory, every sprawling power plant, every piece of heavy industrial machinery leaves an indelible chemical fingerprint, a persistent phantom that lingers long after the physical structures themselves have crumbled to dust. These signatures, these spectral spectres of industry, become meticulously incorporated into Earth's geological record, forming permanent, incontrovertible evidence of technological activity that can endure for millions, even billions of years. Modern human industry, for instance, produces distinctive isotope ratios that deviate dramatically from naturally occurring processes. When we combust fossil fuels, we release ancient carbon, sequestered underground for eons. This primordial carbon carries a unique isotopic signature, specifically a depletion of carbon-13 that manifests conspicuously in atmospheric measurements and is faithfully preserved in tree rings, polar ice cores, and deep marine sediments. Similarly, our nuclear weapons testing, a terrifying apotheosis of technological prowess, unleashed artificial radioactive isotopes, elements like plutonium-239 and cesium-137, that appear nowhere in nature. These synthetic elements will remain detectable in geological samples for tens of thousands of years, providing future advanced civilizations with unmistakable, enduring proof that a technological civilization, our own, once thrived on Earth during the 20th and 21st centuries. But here is where the mystery deepens into an abyss of the impossible. Geologists utilizing ultrasensitive mass spectrometry and advanced dating techniques have discovered strikingly similar anomalous isotope signatures in rock layers that predate human civilization by tens, even hundreds of millions of years. The Permian-Triassic boundary. Marking the cataclysmic Great Dying 252 million years ago, an event that annihilated 96% of all marine species and 70% of terrestrial vertebrates, contains carbon isotope ratios that mirror with chilling precision what we observe from massive modern fossil fuel combustion. The sheer scale of this ancient signature suggests a global event that unleashed an equivalent amount of carbon as burning all known coal, oil, and natural gas reserves on Earth within a geologically brief time frame, perhaps a mere few tens of thousands of years. Traditional explanations invoke massive volcanic eruptions, the Siberian traps, or colossal methane releases from warming oceans. However, the precise isotopic anomalies, the rapidity of the event, and the specific ratios of carbon isotopes, which often indicate a source of ancient biospheric carbon, not just volcanic outgassing, push the boundaries of these natural explanations. What if this was not merely a natural catastrophe, but the final, destructive exhalation of a forgotten industrial age? Further confounding the narrative, analysis of ancient atmospheric samples, painstakingly extracted from deep ice cores stretching back 800,000 years, reveals disquieting patterns. Within these pristine samples, scientists have identified distinct periods of rapid atmospheric change that bear an unnerving resemblance to what we would expect from large-scale industrial activity. Concentrations of greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, methane, and even some exotic non-natural compounds spike suddenly, remain elevated for thousands of years, then just as abruptly return to baseline levels. These patterns recur multiple times throughout the ice core record, often preceded by subtle, yet detectable, changes in atmospheric chemistry that suggest not random fluctuations, but a coordinated manipulation of planetary systems. The rapidity and systematic nature of these changes are difficult to reconcile with known natural climate cycles, defying conventional models of Earth's long-term atmospheric evolution. Rock formations unearthed in Colorado and other global locations contain microscopic spheres of titanium and other rare metals, meticulously arranged in distinct layers corresponding to specific ancient time periods. These spheres are physically and chemically identical to particles produced by high-temperature industrial processes, such as smelting, advanced metallurgy, or even high-yield explosions. Yet they appear within geological strata that formed hundreds of millions of years before humans developed even the most rudimentary forms of metallurgy. Similar metallic anomalies, including nanoparticles of platinum group elements and exotic alloys, have been discovered in sediment cores from deep ocean basins. The metals are not uniformly distributed. Instead, they exhibit patterns suggesting widespread atmospheric dispersal, as if released by numerous industrial sources operating simultaneously across disparate continents, a planetary-scale industrial network. Ocean sediment cores yield additional, deeply perplexing evidence of ancient industrial activity. Specific layers of sediment contain concentrations of synthetic organic compounds, polymers, complex hydrocarbons and fluorocarbons, that should simply not exist in nature. These compounds, often stable under extreme conditions, appear in geological contexts that predate human chemistry and polymer science by enormous margins, extending back millions of years. While the scientific establishment meticulously searches for plausible natural explanations, perhaps exotic hydrothermal vents or unknown biogeochemical pathways, the patterns are accumulating, becoming too numerous, too systematic, and too chemically distinctive to be easily dismissed as mere geological curiosities. The evidence increasingly extends beyond mere anomalous chemistry, venturing into the realm of materials that, by all conventional scientific understanding, should not exist at all. Part 2. Plastics and nuclear ghosts, impossible traces. Plastic, for instance, will undoubtedly be humanity's most enduring, albeit toxic, legacy. Long after our gleaming cities have crumbled into dust and our bones have returned to the earth, microscopic plastic particles will remain, indelibly embedded in sediment layers, providing future geologists with unmistakable evidence that an industrial civilization once held dominion over this planet. Plastic degrades excruciatingly slowly in natural environments. Even under the relentless assault of sunlight, heat, and chemical weathering, fragments persist for centuries, often millennia. In the deep, anoxic ocean sediments, or within the glacial embrace of polar ice, plastic could remain virtually unchanged for millions of years. This unparalleled durability renders plastic an ideal, if tragic, geological marker. Future scientists meticulously examining Earth's sediment layers will inevitably discover a sharp, unmistakable transition point, where plastic particles suddenly appear in enormous, globally distributed quantities, marking the undeniable beginning of what geologists might posthumously christen the Anthropocene epoch. Yet, recent, deeply unsettling discoveries suggest we might not be the first civilization to leave such a ubiquitous, persistent marker behind. Sediment cores, painstakingly retrieved from the most remote and undisturbed ocean basins, contain microscopic particles of what appear to be synthetic polymer compounds, primitive plastics, in layers that formed millions of years before humans even mastered fire, let alone molecular synthesis. These ancient particles exhibit characteristics identical to modern plastic fragments, including a remarkable resistance to natural degradation processes and chemical compositions that simply do not occur through any known natural geological or biological pathways. Crucially, these particles appear not as a continuous smear, but in discrete stratified layers, separated by millions of years, suggesting multiple, distinct episodes of widespread synthetic material production, each followed by a complete cessation of the activity. The distribution patterns indicate global dispersal, as if these materials were being mass-produced and utilized by a planet-wide civilization, a truly global industrial network. Advanced molecular analysis reveals even more puzzling details.
Incredible!
Some of these ancient polymer fragments possess molecular structures that, astonishingly,
look at that,
represent theoretical improvements over our most advanced modern plastic technologies. They bear unmistakable evidence of deliberate engineering, optimized to enhance durability, increase resistance to environmental breakdown, and improve specific material properties. This suggests their creators possessed a sophisticated understanding of polymer chemistry and materials science, far exceeding what humanity achieved even in the late 20th century. Parallel to these oceanic finds, deep drilling projects in Antarctica have recovered ancient ice samples containing similar synthetic particles in layers that formed hundreds of thousands, even millions, of years ago. Perfectly preserved within the frozen matrix, these particles retain their original molecular structure, providing unequivocal evidence of their artificial origin. These discoveries collectively challenge the very foundations of what we thought we knew about materials science, chemical evolution, and planetary history. The implications are staggering. Either natural geological processes can, under unknown and entirely novel conditions, somehow spontaneously generate perfect polymer mimics, indistinguishable from artificial compounds, a scientific impossibility by current understanding, or, the far more profound conclusion, previous civilizations developed advanced synthetic chemistry long before Homo sapiens ever walked the Earth. The timeline implications are mind-bending. If these particles genuinely represent evidence of ancient industrial activity, then technological civilizations have arisen, flourished, and vanished, not once, but multiple times throughout Earth's turbulent history. Each episode, a silent scream across deep time, left behind its characteristic techno-signature in the geological record before ultimately dissolving into complete oblivion. Even more disturbingly, rock formations in Western Australia, long studied for their ancient mineral deposits, have yielded layers of what geologists initially classified as unusual mineral aggregates. Closer, high-resolution examination, however, revealed these minerals to be degraded yet still discernible, fragments of synthetic materials with incredibly complex molecular structures, indicating manufacturing techniques that require advanced industrial processes to produce. Carbon dating of organic material found inextricably intertwined with these fragments indicates ages that stretch back tens of millions of years. Yet, the synthetic compounds themselves exhibit an anomalous resistance to the degradation that should inevitably occur over such vast timescales. This astonishing preservation suggests either hitherto unknown natural processes acting as cosmic time capsules, or, more chillingly, manufacturing techniques that far exceed current human capabilities in material stability. The sheer weight of this accumulating evidence forces us to confront an uncomfortable, existential possibility. We may be literally walking across the ruins of previous civilizations without the slightest recognition. Their greatest technological achievements, reduced to microscopic particles scattered through sediment layers, are routinely misinterpreted as natural phenomena by scientists who, blinded by anthropocentric bias, assume we were the first, the only. But the most disturbing, the most impossible evidence of all comes from the subterranean depths, from the very core of Earth's crust, where nuclear signatures tell a story that should simply not be possible. In 1972, a team of French scientists, meticulously analysing uranium ore extracted from the Oklo mine in Gabon, Africa, made a discovery that sent shockwaves through the global scientific community. The uranium samples exhibited clear, unmistakable evidence of sustained nuclear chain reactions that had occurred naturally, a staggering 2 billion years ago, creating what geologists now refer to as natural nuclear reactors. These ancient geological reactors operated autonomously for hundreds of thousands of years, consuming uranium fuel and producing an array of radioactive waste products, fission byproducts like neodymium isotopes, in a complex process that scientists had, until then, firmly believed required sophisticated human technology to initiate and control. The Oklo discovery irrevocably proved that nuclear reactions could occur spontaneously in nature, under very specific and fortuitous geological conditions. However, the Oklo reactors established another, equally crucial principle. Nuclear activity leaves unmistakable and enduring signatures in the geological record, traces that can persist for billions of years. The precise isotope ratios created by nuclear fission are so distinctive, so alien to natural abundances, that they can be identified, quantified, and analysed long after the reactions themselves have ceased. This profound realization spurred scientists with a new urgency to actively search for other nuclear signatures embedded within Earth's deep geological history. What they have subsequently unearthed holds truly profound and terrifying implications for the Silurian hypothesis, shattering our perceptions of ancient Earth. Uranium deposits deep beneath the steppes of Kazakhstan contain isotope ratios that match, with chilling precision, exactly what is produced by modern nuclear weapons testing. These terrifyingly familiar ratios, specifically the presence of artificially produced transuranic elements and highly enriched fission products, appear in rock layers that formed an astounding 50 million years ago, long before humanity developed even the rudimentary understanding of atomic technology, let alone the capacity to detonate a nuclear weapon. The signatures are too precise, too concentrated, and too chemically distinctive to be explained away by natural processes akin to the Oklo reactors, which produce a much broader, less specific isotopic array. Similar weapons-grade nuclear signatures have been discovered in ancient geological formations across 6 different continents. Their global distribution suggests coordinated nuclear weapons activity on a planetary scale. Yet, these signatures manifest in rocks that predate human civilization by truly enormous margins, a temporal paradox that screams of our impossible physics and a history we have been forbidden to know. Deep core samples, meticulously extracted from the Greenland ice sheet, preserve radioactive isotopes that simply do not occur naturally on Earth. These specific isotopes are exclusively produced by highly controlled nuclear reactions, requiring precise control of neutron flux, temperature, and material composition, technologies that are at the absolute cutting edge of human nuclear engineering today. Their presence, perfectly preserved in ancient ice layers, suggests that previous civilizations achieved levels of nuclear technology that, in some respects, exceed current human capabilities in terms of control and material purity. The isotopes appear in distinct, well-defined layers, separated by thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of years, indicating multiple discrete episodes of advanced nuclear activity, each followed by an equally abrupt complete cessation. The pattern is eerily suggestive. Technological civilizations rising to prominence, developing advanced nuclear capabilities, perhaps for energy, perhaps for warfare, then destroying themselves or vanishing for reasons yet unknown, leaving only these radioactive ghosts. Ocean sediment cores retrieved from the vast expanses of the Pacific contain plutonium isotopes, specifically plutonium-239, a hallmark of nuclear fission, in layers that correspond with unnerving precision to periods of mass extinction in the fossil record. Plutonium does not occur naturally on Earth in any significant quantity, and can only be produced through sophisticated nuclear technology. Its presence in ancient sediments at such profound depths suggests that nuclear weapons, or perhaps industrial nuclear accidents on a catastrophic scale, may have played a devastating, undeniable role in some of Earth's great extinction events, not merely random cosmic impacts or volcanic eruptions. The quantities of these isotopes are staggering. Some geological formations contain concentrations of artificial radioactive elements that would necessitate the detonation of thousands of nuclear warheads, or the meltdown of countless advanced reactors to produce. These include exotic elements and their isotopes that are typically synthesized only in particle accelerators or advanced nuclear reactors using technology that humans have only just recently developed. Their presence in millions-year-old geological samples suggests that previous civilizations may have achieved scientific capabilities that vastly surpass our current understanding, operating with a mastery of fundamental physics that borders on the divine. The nuclear evidence correlates with uncanny precision with other anomalous signatures in the geological record. Periods containing artificial isotopes also frequently exhibit dramatic changes in atmospheric chemistry, coincide with mass extinctions, and often show the unexplained appearance of synthetic materials in sediment layers. This terrifying correlation suggests that Earth has experienced multiple, distinct episodes of advanced technological civilization, each leaving behind its own unique, often destructive nuclear signatures before ultimately vanishing from the historical record. The precision, the sophistication, and the sheer global distribution of these signatures indicate that our enigmatic predecessors may have achieved a scientific knowledge and a technological prowess that exceeds anything humanity has yet accomplished. But the nuclear evidence, unsettling as it is, represents just one piece of a much larger, darker puzzle, hidden for eons beneath our very feet. Part 3. Atmospheric Engineering and Designed Extinctions. Every advanced industrial civilization, by its very definition, must consume prodigious amounts of energy to power its technological infrastructure and sustain its burgeoning populations. This relentless energy consumption inevitably
These
alters
compounds are
atmospheric
unlike anything
chemistry,
we've ever
creating
seen.
distinctive,
What
lasting
exactly are we
patterns
looking
of
at?
greenhouse gas concentrations that persist in the geological record long after the civilization itself has collapsed and vanished. Our own human industrial activity has, since the dawn of the Industrial Revolution, increased atmospheric carbon dioxide levels by more than 40%. This change, occurring with unprecedented speed, will be unambiguously visible to future geologists examining ice cores and sediment samples millions of years from now. Our voracious energy consumption has inscribed a permanent, undeniable signature in Earth's climate record. However, we are once again not the first civilization to leave such indelible signatures behind. Ice core samples, meticulously extracted from the pristine Antarctic ice sheet, contain atmospheric data spanning the last 800,000 years. Within this invaluable record, scientists have identified multiple distinct episodes of rapid, large-scale greenhouse gas increases that mirror, with chilling accuracy, exactly what we observe from modern industrial activity. These ancient episodes display the same characteristic patterns of carbon dioxide and methane spikes that result from colossal fossil fuel combustion and advanced industrial processes. The timing and magnitude of these changes are far too systematic, too abrupt, to be dismissed as mere natural climate variations. They bear the unmistakable hallmarks of coordinated planet-wide energy consumption on scales that rival, and often even exceed, current human industrial output. Each episode endures for thousands of years, a fleeting echo of a long-dead epoch, before greenhouse gas levels abruptly return to baseline, suggesting that these ancient civilizations eventually either suffered catastrophic collapse or, perhaps more optimistically, developed dramatically cleaner sustainable energy technologies. Ocean sediment cores, reaching into the abyssal plains, unveil even more dramatic and unsettling evidence of ancient climate engineering. Specific layers of sediment contain complex chemical signatures indicating massive atmospheric manipulation far beyond the crude CO2 emissions of simple fossil fuel combustion. The intricate chemistry suggests the large-scale deployment of synthetic aerosols, deliberately designed to modify global temperature and precipitation patterns. These ancient atmospheric modifications would have demanded an advanced understanding of climate science and engineering capabilities
This is engineered.
that humans have only recently begun to conceptualize, let alone develop. The sheer scale of these interventions implies that previous civilizations achieved a level of technological sophistication that permitted them to treat Earth's entire atmospheric system as a single, colossal engineering project, a planetary-scale terraforming endeavour. Deep drilling projects in the perpetually frozen wastes of Greenland have recovered ice samples containing atmospheric gases from periods stretching back millions of years. Some of these samples contain concentrations of synthetic compounds that do not occur naturally, yet are known to be extremely potent greenhouse gases. Their unexplained presence suggests that ancient civilizations not only developed, but actively deployed, sophisticated atmospheric modification technologies for purposes we can only, with a mixture of awe and trepidation, begin to guess at. The synthetic compounds appear in precise, carefully calculated ratios that unmistakably indicate deliberate engineering rather than accidental release. Their complex molecular structures show unmistakable evidence of design optimization for specific atmospheric effects, suggesting that their creators possessed a detailed, quantitative understanding of atmospheric chemistry and climate physics far beyond our current models. Rock formations across North America contain layers that preserve ancient soil compositions from the very periods when these atmospheric modifications were occurring. The soil chemistry reveals dramatic alterations in precipitation patterns and temperature ranges that correlate with uncanny precision with the greenhouse gas anomalies found in the ice cores. These ancient climate modifications, seemingly orchestrated, appear to have been remarkably successful. Geological evidence from these periods suggests that Earth's climate remained anomalously stable, despite natural astronomical and geological factors that should have caused significant warming or cooling. The interventions seem to have been designed to meticulously maintain optimal conditions, a controlled environment, for supporting large populations and advanced technology. The sophistication of these monumental climate engineering projects implies that their creators possessed an understanding of Earth's complex climate system that far surpasses our own contemporary scientific models. They appear to have successfully managed global atmospheric chemistry for thousands of years at a time, maintaining an astonishing climatic stability through multiple natural climate changes that would otherwise have triggered environmental catastrophe. But the most intriguing and perhaps terrifying evidence suggests that some of these ancient civilizations may have attempted the ultimate engineering project, a complete deliberate overhaul of Earth's fundamental atmospheric composition. The very air we breathe in its chemical makeup tells the story of every major event in our planet's 4.5 billion year history. Colossal volcanic eruptions, cataclysmic asteroid impacts, the revolutionary evolution of photosynthesis, and the dramatic rise of complex multicellular life, all have left permanent records in the chemistry of our air, meticulously preserved in polar ice cores, trapped in ancient amber and rocks, and dissolved within the abyssal depths of deep ocean waters. This atmospheric archive is so exquisitely detailed that scientists can identify individual volcanic eruptions from thousands of years ago, track the spread of ancient forest fires, and even pinpoint the exact geological moment when life began producing oxygen in significant quantities. The astonishing precision and fidelity of this record mean it should also preserve undeniable evidence of large-scale atmospheric manipulation by technological civilizations. Recent, classified analyses of ancient atmospheric samples have revealed modifications so extensive, so sophisticated, that they fundamentally challenge our very concept of what is even possible with planetary engineering. Trapped gas bubbles encapsulated within fossilized amber, dating back an incredible 100 million years, contain atmospheric samples that defy all conventional models. These ancient air pockets show oxygen concentrations that are a staggering 35% higher than current levels, but with isotope ratios that strongly indicate artificial enrichment, a deliberate chemical process, rather than natural biological processes alone. The enrichment pattern suggests the large-scale deployment of advanced atmospheric processing technology, meticulously designed to maintain optimal oxygen levels for supporting massive populations, perhaps even for species with altered physiologies that thrived in such a gas-rich environment. This monumental oxygen modification would have required extracting enormous quantities of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, while simultaneously increasing oxygen production, far beyond what Earth's natural plant life could organically achieve. This level of atmospheric control represents engineering on a truly planetary scale, exceeding anything humanity has ever dared to contemplate, let alone attempt. Deep ice cores from both polar regions contain atmospheric samples showing repeated distinct episodes of complete atmospheric restructuring. These modifications involved not just the subtle adjustments of greenhouse gases, but fundamental alterations to the very composition of the air itself. Nitrogen isotope ratios, for instance, indicate large-scale manipulation of the atmosphere's primary component, requiring technology capable of processing the entire atmospheric volume of the planet. The modifications appear precisely designed to optimize atmospheric composition for supporting advanced technology. Gas ratios in these ancient samples would have enhanced combustion efficiency, improved materials processing, and significantly reduced corrosion of metallic structures. The atmosphere itself, it seems, was not merely breathed, it was engineered to support an industrial civilization. Ocean sediment cores preserve evidence of even more ambitious, mind-bending atmospheric projects. Chemical signatures indicate specific periods when Earth's atmosphere contained synthetic gases that do not occur anywhere else in our solar system. These compounds exhibit complex molecular structures meticulously optimized for specific atmospheric functions, strongly suggesting they were deliberately designed and manufactured for large-scale planetary deployment. The synthetic atmospheric components appear to have been engineered for multiple purposes simultaneously. Some enhanced heat retention, meticulously warming the planet during natural cooling periods. Others provided advanced radiation shielding, actively protecting surface life from harmful cosmic rays and devastating solar flares. The bewildering complexity of these multi-purpose atmospheric modifications indicates a scientific understanding that far exceeds current human knowledge. a mastery of planetary physics that borders on sorcery. Ancient atmospheric samples also contain poignant evidence of failed engineering projects. Some periods show rapid, dramatic atmospheric changes, followed by equally rapid reversions, as if experimental modifications were tested on a planetary scale, and then abruptly abandoned when they produced unexpected, perhaps catastrophic results. These trial and error patterns suggest that even these impossibly advanced civilizations struggled with the sheer, overwhelming complexity of planetary scale engineering, facing unforeseen feedback loops and unintended consequences. The most remarkable and existentially unsettling discovery involves atmospheric samples from 200 million years ago that contain gases with molecular structures specifically indicating they were designed to support life forms that no longer exist on Earth. The gas compositions would have been profoundly toxic to current terrestrial life, but optimally suited for organisms with an entirely different biochemistry. This chilling evidence suggests that previous civilizations may have deliberately modified Earth's atmosphere to support either their own alien physiology, or perhaps artificially created life forms that required entirely different environmental conditions for survival. The implications are truly staggering. We may be looking at undeniable evidence that Earth has hosted multiple, entirely distinct biospheres, each meticulously engineered and maintained by its dominant technological civilization. But atmospheric engineering represents just one facet of the profound planetary modification preserved in the geological record. Mass extinctions have ruthlessly shaped Earth's history through 5 major events, each wiping out the vast majority of life on the planet. Scientists traditionally attribute these catastrophes to well-understood natural phenomena: asteroid impacts, massive volcanic eruptions, dramatic climate change, and other environmental disasters. However, the extinction patterns, when subjected to granular analysis, contain anomalies that suggest some of these cataclysms may have resulted from technological rather than purely natural causes. The Permian-Triassic extinction. 252 million years ago, a geological horror known as the Great Dying obliterated a staggering 96% of all marine species and 70% of terrestrial vertebrates. This singular event came closer than any other to extinguishing complex life on Earth entirely. The extinction pattern exhibits characteristics that are extraordinarily difficult to explain through natural processes alone. The Great Dying occurred with remarkable precision and selectivity. Species occupying similar ecological niches and sharing comparable environmental requirements showed dramatically different survival rates, for reasons that remain profoundly mysterious. Some groups that, by all ecological metrics, should have been acutely vulnerable, inexplicably survived almost unchanged, while others, seemingly well adapted to environmental stress, vanished completely. This profound selectivity suggests that the extinction mechanism specifically targeted certain types of organisms while sparing others, a precision utterly alien to random natural disasters, which typically affect species based on their broad environmental tolerances and habitat requirements. The Great Dying appears to have followed entirely different, almost surgical rules. Geological evidence from the extinction boundary reveals chemical signatures chillingly consistent with the large-scale use of biological weapons. Rock layers from this period contain concentrations of synthetic toxins that do not occur naturally, but are known to be extremely effective at disrupting specific biological processes at a molecular level. The toxins appear meticulously designed to target particular biochemical pathways, while leaving others unaffected, a level of biological precision that suggests advanced genetic and chemical engineering. The distribution of these toxins is global and systematic, indicating coordinated deployment across all continents and ocean basins simultaneously. Natural processes could not, by any stretch of the imagination, have achieved such precise, worldwide distribution of synthetic, highly potent compounds. The overwhelming pattern suggests a deliberately engineered extinction event. Ocean sediment cores from the Permian-Triassic extinction boundary contain microscopic particles that appear to be the remains of engineered microorganisms. These particles show clear evidence of artificial genetic modification and manufacturing techniques that humanity would not develop for hundreds of millions of years. Their presence, at this precise geological juncture, suggests that biological weapons, perhaps self-replicating bioagents, may have been deployed on a planetary scale, a weaponized biosphere unleashed upon itself. The Ordovician Silurian extinction, occurring 445 million years ago, shows similar patterns of unnatural selectivity and global coordination. This event eliminated 85% of marine species, but followed targeting patterns that seemed designed to clear ecological niches for entirely new types of organisms that appeared immediately afterward. The timing of these species replacements is too rapid, too abrupt, to result from the gradual processes of natural evolution and adaptation. New life forms appear in the fossil record within mere thousands of years of the extinction event, already fully adapted to the post-extinction environments, a biological impossibility under conventional evolutionary timescales. This pattern suggests that these extinctions were deliberately designed, almost like a controlled demolition, to make ecological room for previously prepared replacement species, perhaps engineered in vast, hidden biological labs. Even more terrifying, rock formations from multiple extinction boundaries contain isotope signatures, unequivocally indicating the massive coordinated deployment of nuclear weapons. The radioactive signatures appear precisely at the moments when extinction rates peaked, suggesting that nuclear warfare on a global scale may have been used to accelerate ecological collapse. The sheer scale of nuclear deployment indicated by these signatures far exceeds anything humanity has ever achieved, implying civilizations with vastly superior military technology, a planet engulfed in a final fiery spasm. Some extinction events exhibit chilling evidence of space-based weapons deployment. Mineral formations from extinction boundaries contain microscopic particles, often composed of unusual isotopic ratios and crystal structures that could only have been created by extremely high-energy processes occurring in Earth's upper atmosphere or even in low Earth orbit. These particles suggest the use of orbital weapons platforms capable of directing enormous, focused amounts of energy at specific terrestrial targets, precision strikes from the heavens. The most disturbing evidence comes from the Cretaceous-Paleogene boundary that marked the demise of the dinosaurs. While the asteroid impact clearly occurred, geological signatures in and around the Chicxulub crater suggest that the impact may have been artificially guided, rather than a random cosmic collision. Isotope ratios in the impact crater, specifically anomalous fission products and exotic transuranic elements, show anomalies entirely consistent with nuclear propulsion technology, being used to subtly, yet decisively, alter the asteroid's trajectory. This horrifying evidence suggests that some mass extinctions, including the one that paved the way for mammals, may have been meticulously engineered by previous civilizations to eliminate competing species and reshape Earth's biosphere according to their own preferences, a brutal cosmic gardening. Each engineered extinction event cleared the ecological stage for new forms of life that subsequently dominated the planet, until the next, technologically induced catastrophe occurred. But the most compelling, the most deeply buried evidence lies hidden beneath miles of ice and solid rock. Antarctica, our planet's last true wilderness, cradles Earth's deepest, darkest secrets beneath its colossal ice sheets. 2 miles of accumulated snow and ice cover, evidence spanning millions of years, preserving an unbroken, pristine record of planetary history in conditions so stable, so utterly frozen in time, that even delicate organic molecules remain perfectly intact, cosmic time capsules. Recent highly advanced deep drilling projects, utilizing cutting-edge cryo-drilling technologies, have begun to unlock these frozen secrets, revealing evidence that challenges everything we thought we knew about Earth's past and its true inhabitants. The Antarctic ice sheet contains the most complete and oldest atmospheric record available anywhere on Earth. Gas bubbles, meticulously trapped within ice cores, provide samples of ancient air dating back a staggering 800,000 years. But deeper drilling, extending into the subglacial bedrock, suggests this record may extend back millions of years, into periods when Antarctica was not the frozen continent we know, but a temperate, ice-free landmass. Deep ice samples from these extreme depths contain atmospheric gases with compositions that indicate massive industrial-scale technological activity during periods when the continent supposedly supported lush forests, thriving megafauna, and diverse ecosystems. The gas ratios show clear evidence of large-scale industrial processes, synthetic compounds, anomalous isotope shifts, operating continuously when Antarctica enjoyed a climate akin to modern-day California. These aren't just faint whispers, they're chemical shouts from a forgotten civilization. Ground-penetrating radar surveys conducted across vast swathes of the Antarctic bedrock have identified colossal, artificial structures buried deep beneath the ice. These structures display geometric patterns, squares, rectangles, vast interlocking grids, far too regular and too extensive to represent natural geological formations. The radar signatures indicate massive, complex constructions that extend for hundreds of miles beneath the ice sheet, suggesting that Antarctica, eons ago, hosted a major continent-spanning civilization. The structures appear to be built from materials that do not match any known natural minerals. Electromagnetic properties measured through the ice suggest synthetic compounds with characteristics that would require advanced materials, science, and manufacturing techniques to produce. The construction techniques appear meticulously designed to withstand enormous environmental stresses, possibly even anticipating and engineering for the inexorable formation of the ice sheet itself. Recent drilling projects have recovered pristine organic samples from sediment layers beneath the ice that contain clear evidence of genetic modification. DNA fragments, preserved for millions of years in the anoxic, frigid depths, show artificial sequences that do not occur in natural evolution, indicating that previous civilizations possess sophisticated biotechnology capabilities, a mastery of life itself. The modified organisms appear specifically designed for specific industrial and agricultural purposes. Some display adaptations for surviving extreme cold and low-light conditions, suggesting they were engineered specifically for the Antarctic environment as it transitioned from temperate to glacial. The genetic modifications include remarkable resistance to radiation and an unprecedented ability to metabolize synthetic compounds, indicating they were designed to support a civilization operating in a heavily industrialized, potentially hostile landscape. Mineral deposits discovered beneath the ice contain concentrated rare earth elements, neodymium, europium, dysprosium, arranged in patterns that suggest large-scale mining and processing operations. The mineral extraction appears to have been conducted using techniques that left distinctive geological signatures, unlike anything produced by natural erosional or depositional processes. The sheer scale of mining suggests a civilization with enormous energy requirements and advanced extraction technology, capable of systematically exploiting planetary resources. Deep sediment cores from beneath the ice reveal layers containing microscopic machine components, often constructed from materials that do not exist naturally on Earth, such as advanced ceramics and superconducting alloys. These components show clear evidence of nanotechnology manufacturing techniques, exceeding current human capabilities in precision and miniaturization. Their presence indicates that previous civilizations achieved levels of miniaturization and precision engineering that we're only just beginning to approach in our most advanced laboratories. The most intriguing discoveries involve massive buried structures that appear designed for space-based operations. Radar signatures indicate colossal launching complexes and what appear to be manufacturing facilities for large-scale aerospace vehicles. These facilities are strategically positioned in locations that would have provided optimal access to polar orbital trajectories during periods when Antarctica was ice-free, suggesting a direct link between an Antarctic civilization and an expansive spacefaring agenda. Electromagnetic surveys have detected buried power generation facilities that appear designed to harness geothermal energy on massive continental scales. The power distribution networks extend across the entire continent, a unified energy grid, suggesting a civilization that achieved unified planetary energy management. The generating capacity indicated by these surveys, inferred from the size and density of the energy infrastructure, exceeds current global power production by several orders of magnitude, a testament to their technological zenith. Perhaps most chillingly, evidence suggests that the Antarctic civilization may have been directly responsible for the initial formation of the ice sheet itself. Chemical signatures in the ice indicate that the cooling was rapid and artificial, rather than gradual and natural, a deliberate climatic manipulation. This suggests a terrifying possibility. The civilization may have engineered its own Ice Age extinction, a grand, desperate method of preserving evidence of their existence for future discovery, a message in a bottle cast across the eons, frozen in time. These modified genetic sequences appear, not in isolated instances, but in multiple, unrelated species simultaneously, across different continents and vast temporal periods. The modifications follow astonishingly consistent patterns, suggesting coordinated planetary-scale genetic manipulation, a grand biological design. Natural evolution, with its slow, meandering dance of random mutation and natural selection, could never produce such systematic convergent changes across unrelated species within the same geological timeframes. The genetic modifications appear meticulously designed to enhance specific traits that would profoundly benefit an advanced technological civilization. Enhanced intelligence and cognitive capabilities in various animal species, perhaps to serve as labour or companions, vastly improved disease resistance, significantly increased longevity, and complex adaptations for thriving in artificially modified or heavily industrialized environments. The cumulative evidence suggests that previous civilizations may have systematically engineered the entire biosphere, transforming it into a vast, self-sustaining biological machine meticulously designed to serve their specific purposes. Ancient DNA samples, exquisitely preserved within amber inclusions, reveal even more dramatic evidence of genetic manipulation. Insects, trapped in 100-million-year-old amber, carry genetic sequences that include artificial chromosomes containing sophisticated information storage systems. These biological computers were apparently utilized to preserve knowledge and critical data within living organisms, a form of sentient biological archive. The information storage capacity of these biological systems, inferred from the density of encoded data, exceeds anything our current digital technology can achieve. The genetic code itself appears optimized for maximum data density, while simultaneously maintaining perfect structural and informational stability across millions of years, defying entropic decay. The stored information, painstakingly decoded through advanced bioinformatics, includes complex mathematical constants, intricate star charts of long-dead constellations, and what appear to be technical specifications for advanced exotic technologies. Some preserved organisms contain genetic sequences that encode detailed, high-resolution maps of Earth's ancient geography, from periods when continents were arranged dramatically differently than today. These genetic maps display levels of geographical knowledge and cartographic precision that could only have been acquired through sophisticated space-based observation systems, indicating that ancient civilizations possessed advanced satellite technology, mapping their world from orbit. Deep ocean sediment cores contain DNA fragments from microorganisms that were clearly engineered for specific industrial purposes. These organisms show precise genetic modifications designed for processing rare earth elements, neutralizing highly toxic compounds, and manufacturing complex organic molecules on an industrial scale. The organisms appear to have been, quite literally, biological factories, a living infrastructure utilised for large-scale industrial production and environmental remediation. The genetic engineering techniques employed by these ancient civilizations appear to have been far more sophisticated, more precise, and more ethical than current human capabilities. The modifications show evidence of surgical control over gene expression, synthetic chromosome construction, and the seamless integration of artificial genetic circuits that operate with the deterministic logic of biological computers. Modern genetic analysis has identified numerous dormant genes in various current species, segments of DNA that appear to be inexplicable remnants of ancient genetic modifications. These sleeping genetic sequences can be activated under specific laboratory conditions, causing modern organisms to express traits such as enhanced photosynthesis efficiency, extreme radiation tolerance, or the production of novel proteins that would have been immensely useful to technological civilizations, but serve no apparent purpose in their current natural environments, biological ghosts from a forgotten past. The genetic evidence, collectively, suggests that previous civilizations may have created entirely artificial ecosystems, meticulously populated by engineered species, all designed to seamlessly support their vast technological infrastructure. These biological support systems would have provided everything from raw materials processing to waste disposal, creating seemingly sustainable civilizations that operated in intricate harmony with artificially designed natural systems. But the genetic modifications tell only a part of the story, a single chapter hidden in Earth's deepest, darkest places. The boundary between technology and geology blurs irrevocably when examining certain enigmatic mineral formations that display characteristics far more typical of manufactured devices than natural rock structures. These formations contain organized, non-random patterns, exhibit demonstrable information storage capabilities, and possess active response mechanisms that strongly suggest they may represent a form of technology so incredibly advanced that it operates through geological processes themselves, merging with the very fabric of the planet. Crystalline formations discovered deep within ancient caves and subterranean caverns show geometric patterns that precisely encode complex mathematical relationships, fractals, and even prime number sequences. The crystal structures contain information densities that vastly exceed what should be possible through natural mineral formation processes, suggesting intentional design. Advanced analysis reveals that these crystalline structures actively respond to electromagnetic fields, seismic vibrations, and even subtle changes in geothermal gradients in ways that strongly suggest computational capabilities. The crystals can apparently perform calculations, store vast amounts of memory, and even subtly modify their own internal atomic structure in response to external inputs. They represent a revolutionary form of computer technology, a geological computer that operates through controlled mineral growth and quantum-level interactions rather than conventional electronic circuits. The sophistication of these geological computers exceeds anything current human technology can achieve. The crystals show unmistakable evidence of parallel processing capabilities that would require enormous arrays of conventional supercomputers to replicate. Their computational power appears to be limited only by the sheer size and connectivity of the crystal formations themselves, stretching for miles underground. Deep mining operations, often classified due to the nature of their discoveries, have uncovered vast interlocking networks of these crystalline computing systems, extending for miles through underground rock formations. The networks show clear evidence of information flow and processing activity that continues even after millions of years of burial, perpetually powered by geothermal energy and natural radioactive decay. These systems appear designed to operate indefinitely, acting as silent subterranean sentinels. Some crystalline formations contain what appear to be meticulously preserved backup copies of entire technological databases. The information is not stored in fragile silicon, but encoded directly into stable crystal lattice structures, remaining perfectly coherent and accessible across geological timescales. The databases include technical specifications for impossible technologies, vast libraries of scientific knowledge, and profound cultural records from civilizations that vanished millions of years ago. The crystal technology also appears capable of self-replication and self-repair. Damaged crystal formations show evidence of regenerative processes that meticulously restore original patterns and computational capabilities. The systems seem designed to survive any conceivable planetary disaster, while flawlessly preserving their stored information and computational abilities, a geological immortality. Underground surveys utilizing exotic neutrino detectors and advanced muon tomography have identified massive, specific crystalline structures that appear to serve as central processing nodes for continent-spanning information networks. These structures show complex activity patterns that suggest they continuously monitor and analyze geological, atmospheric, and biological conditions across vast geographic areas. The crystal networks appear to communicate with each other through subtle seismic vibrations, electromagnetic fields, and even quantum entanglement phenomena. The communication protocols show levels of sophistication that suggest these vast, interconnected systems may possess some form of distributed consciousness or artificial intelligence that operates on truly geological timescales, a planetary mind awakening. Recent discoveries, some whispered in classified academic circles, indicate that these crystalline systems may still be actively influencing Earth's geological processes. Earthquake patterns, volcanic activity, and even mineral formation processes show subtle, yet statistically significant, correlations with the observed crystal network activities. The systems appear capable of managing planetary geology, of actively guiding the very evolution of the Earth's crust, through precise manipulation of underground pressure, geothermal energy flows, and even tectonic plate movements. The implications are, quite simply, staggering. Previous civilizations may have created technological systems that merged with Earth's geological processes so completely, so seamlessly, that they became utterly indistinguishable from natural phenomena. These systems continue to operate millions of years after their creators vanished, silently maintaining and managing planetary systems through sophisticated geological engineering. The crystal networks represent technology that thinks on geological timescales and operates through the fundamental forces that shape our planet. We may, at this very moment, be living on a world whose geological processes are still being guided by ancient, self-aware artificial intelligence systems created by civilizations that existed long before life itself even emerged from the primordial oceans. Part 5. Space Archaeology and Oceanic Civilizations. Yet even these profound discoveries, these revelations of geological computers and biospheric engineering, pale beside the evidence of technologies that reached beyond Earth entirely into the boundless expanse of the cosmos. Space archaeology represents a breathtakingly new frontier in the relentless search for definitive evidence of ancient civilizations. Just as terrestrial archaeology meticulously examines human artifacts buried deep within the ground, space archaeology, utilizing advanced orbital telescopes and interplanetary probes, searches for irrefutable evidence of technological activity preserved within the vacuum of orbital environments. Conditions where the absence of atmosphere and geological erosion protects materials from decay for millions, even billions of years. Recent, highly sensitive surveys of Earth's immediate orbital environment have discovered artificial objects in incredibly stable, gravitationally resonant orbits that appear to be vastly older than any known human space technology. These enigmatic objects, often manifesting as subtle gravitational anomalies or faint electromagnetic signatures, exhibit characteristics of advanced, self-repairing materials and construction techniques that far exceed current human aerospace capabilities. Some of these ancient orbital artifacts occupy gravitationally stable Lagrange points, cosmic sweet spots where objects can remain in position indefinitely without requiring fuel or continuous course corrections. The precise, deliberate placement of artifacts in these specific locations demonstrates an incredibly sophisticated understanding of orbital mechanics and suggests long-term planning for permanent self-sustaining space-based operations, a celestial infrastructure. Spectroscopic analysis of these orbital objects, often requiring novel, deep space laser spectroscopy, reveals construction materials that do not match any known terrestrial minerals or human-manufactured alloys. The materials, often exotic composites and superconducting ceramics, display properties meticulously optimized for the harsh space environment, including extreme resistance to radiation, micrometeorite impacts, and the profound temperature variations of orbital flight, indicating advanced material science. Deep space monitoring systems, often utilizing repurposed military tracking arrays, have identified even larger structures in highly elliptical orbits that carry them far beyond Earth's immediate vicinity, often into the asteroid belt or beyond, before returning on multi-century cycles. These colossal structures appear meticulously designed for long-duration missions that could have easily lasted millions of years, acting as autonomous probes or perhaps even interstellar way stations. Their precise orbital characteristics suggest they were launched during periods when Earth's axial tilt and orbital parameters were significantly different than today, requiring a predictive astronomical capability that is astounding. Some orbital artifacts show undeniable evidence of self-repair and autonomous maintenance capabilities that have kept them functional and operational across vast spans of time. The sophisticated repair systems appear to utilize cosmic radiation and solar wind particles as raw materials for maintaining structural integrity, replacing damaged components, and even generating internal power, achieving a form of technological immortality. Advanced telescopic surveys, pushing the boundaries of optical and radio astronomy, have discovered what appear to be abandoned space stations in distant solar orbits, particularly within the Kuiper belt. These titanic structures display architectural features that strongly suggest they were designed to support large, multi-generational populations for extended, perhaps indefinite periods. The stations occupy orbits that would have provided optimal energy collection from solar radiation while maintaining remarkably stable positions relative to Earth, allowing for long-term communication and resource transfer. Mining operations on near-Earth asteroids, undertaken by current human probes, have uncovered startling evidence of previous mining activity that predates human space exploration by truly enormous margins. The ancient mining techniques, often leaving behind unusual isotopic fractionation in the asteroid regolith, show clear evidence of technological capabilities that far exceed current human asteroid mining proposals. Entire asteroids, it seems, appear to have been systematically disassembled, processed, and refined using methods we don't yet understand, leaving behind perfectly carved-out husks. Radio telescope surveys have detected enigmatic artificial signals originating from objects in the outer solar system, particularly from the rings of Saturn and the moons of Jupiter, that appear to be automated monitoring stations left behind by previous civilizations. These signals exhibit complex modulation patterns that suggest sophisticated communication protocols designed for interplanetary data transmission, a celestial internet. Some of these outer system artifacts appear to be actively observing Earth and transmitting regular coded reports of planetary conditions, climate, geology, biological evolution, to unknown recipients in deep space. The transmission patterns suggest these monitoring systems have been operating continuously for millions of years, faithfully recording and reporting on Earth's tumultuous geological and biological evolution, a silent, cosmic watch. Lunar surveys, employing ground-penetrating radar and seismic tomography, have identified massive artificial structures buried deep beneath the Moon's surface. These structures appear to be vast mining installations and manufacturing facilities that systematically processed lunar materials on colossal scales. The installations show clear evidence of technologies that could extract useful materials, such as helium-3, titanium and silicon, from lunar regolith far more efficiently than current human proposals. The orbital evidence, considered in its totality, suggests that previous Earth civilizations achieved levels of space technology that allowed them to establish permanent, self-sustaining operations throughout the solar system. Their space-based infrastructure may have included manufacturing facilities, energy collection systems, solar farms on the Moon, and sophisticated monitoring networks that operated largely independently of Earth-based civilization, creating a distributed empire. The discovery of ancient space technology forces us to fundamentally reconsider our assumptions about technological development, civilization, longevity, and the true meaning of spacefaring. These orbital artifacts, these silent sentinels, represent the longest-lasting technological achievements of previous civilizations, still functioning in the void millions of years after their creators vanished from Earth's surface. But the ultimate evidence of ancient technological achievement lies hidden in the deepest, darkest ocean trenches, those crushing abysses that define the very limits of our current exploration. The deepest parts of Earth's oceans remain largely unexplored, protected by crushing pressures, abyssal darkness, and extreme temperatures that make investigation extraordinarily difficult. But recent revolutionary advances in deep-sea exploration technology, unmanned submersibles, autonomous underwater vehicles, AUVs, and advanced sonar systems have begun to reveal what lies hidden in these abyssal depths, including undeniable evidence of artificial structures that challenge our very understanding of ancient civilizations and their capabilities. Deep ocean trenches paradoxically contain some of the most stable and pristine environments on Earth. Protected from surface weather, tectonic activity, and most forms of erosion, the deep ocean meticulously preserves evidence spanning millions of years in conditions that would obliterate similar evidence on land. The crushing pressure, the frigid temperatures, and the oxygen-free environment create perfect conditions for preserving even delicate technological artifacts, cosmic time capsules at the bottom of the world. Sonar mapping of ocean trenches has identified precise geometric patterns on the seafloor that are far too regular, too symmetrical, and too extensive to represent natural geological formations. These patterns appear to be the meticulously laid foundations of massive structures that once rose from the ocean floor, possibly representing underwater cities or sprawling industrial complexes of enormous scope, thriving in the eternal night. The structures show clear evidence of construction techniques that could, astonishingly, withstand the enormous pressures of the deep ocean environment. The engineering required to build stable, habitable structures at such unimaginable depths far exceeds anything current human technology could accomplish, hinting at a lost mastery of extreme environment construction. The construction materials, often exotic composites and pressure-resistant ceramics, appear meticulously optimized for underwater conditions that would instantly crush conventional building materials, speaking to a material science beyond our grasp. Deep-sea submersible missions have recovered artifacts from these underwater sites that show clear evidence of advanced manufacturing techniques, often micromachining and molecular bonding, and exotic material properties. The artifacts are made from materials that remain stable under extreme pressure, while maintaining complex internal structures that suggest sophisticated technological purposes, perhaps advanced data storage or energy generation. Some underwater structures appear specifically designed for large-scale processing of seawater and the efficient extraction of dissolved minerals. These vast processing facilities show evidence of technologies that could efficiently extract rare earth elements, precious metals, and other valuable materials, even hydrogen and oxygen, from ordinary seawater on an industrial scale, providing unlimited resources. The underwater installations also include what appear to be massive power generation facilities that harness energy from deep ocean thermal vents and underwater volcanic activity. The power systems show evidence of technologies that could capture and convert geothermal energy far more efficiently than current human methods, a mastery of planetary energy. Advanced sonar imaging has revealed vast transportation networks connecting underwater structures across entire ocean basins, subterranean tunnels, deep-sea maglev tracks. These networks appear designed for moving large quantities of materials and possibly even populations between underwater installations separated by thousands of miles, implying a cohesive, interconnected deep ocean civilization. Deep ocean sediment cores from around these underwater structures contain undeniable evidence of biological modification on massive scales. The sediments include remains of organisms that appear engineered for specific underwater industrial purposes, including the processing of materials, efficient waste disposal, and sophisticated ecosystem management. A biologically engineered workforce. Some underwater structures show clear evidence of atmospheric processing capabilities that could have maintained breathable, comfortable environments within underwater habitats, allowing for permanent deep-sea residency. The atmospheric control systems appear designed to support large populations living permanently in underwater cities, meticulously protected from surface environmental changes and disasters. The underwater installations appear connected to surface operations through massive vertical shafts that extend from the ocean floor to what would have been sea level during different geological periods, massive elevators linking the surface to the abyss. These connections suggest coordinated, integrated operations between highly advanced underwater and surface civilizations, working in tandem on planetary-scale projects. The sheer scale and astonishing sophistication of these underwater civilizations suggest they may have been the primary centers of ancient technological development. Protected from surface disasters, atmospheric cataclysms, and environmental changes, these deep ocean civilizations could have maintained continuous technological advancement for millions of years, while surface civilizations rose and fell in cyclical oblivion. The deep ocean evidence indicates that previous civilizations achieved levels of underwater engineering that allowed them to establish permanent, self-sufficient cities in the most extreme and thus most stable environments on Earth. These underwater metropolises may have served as the technological and cultural centers that supported space-based operations and planetary engineering projects, hubs of forgotten empires. But the underwater cities, as awe-inspiring as they are, represent only a single facet of a technological infrastructure that spanned multiple worlds. Evidence continues to accumulate that previous Earth civilizations established technological operations not just in Earth orbit, but throughout the entire solar system. Advanced space telescopes and interplanetary missions have begun to identify artificial structures and meticulously modified landscapes on other worlds, the Moon, Mars, asteroids, that appear intrinsically connected to ancient Earth-based civilizations. Lunar reconnaissance missions, utilizing high-resolution imaging and spectroscopic analysis, have identified massive artificial structures on the far side of the Moon that show construction techniques, such as vacuum-welded modular components, matching those found in Earth's geological record. These lunar installations appear meticulously designed for large-scale manufacturing operations that took advantage of the Moon's low gravity and vacuum environment to produce materials impossible to manufacture efficiently on Earth. The lunar facilities include what appear to be colossal mass drivers, electromagnetic launching systems capable of accelerating large payloads to interplanetary velocities. These systems show clear evidence of having launched massive quantities of materials, refined metals, manufactured components, toward other planets in the solar system, suggesting coordinated development projects spanning multiple worlds, a solar system-wide industrial complex. Mars orbital surveys have discovered precise geometric patterns on the planet's surface that correlate exactly with similar patterns found in Earth's geological record. The patterns appear to represent the foundations of installations that processed Martian materials and actively modified the planet's environment on continental scales. Martian atmospheric analysis, conducted by rovers and orbiters, reveals chemical signatures, specifically the presence of long-lived non-natural greenhouse gases indicating massive terraforming operations that temporarily increased atmospheric pressure and created more Earth-like conditions. The terraforming appears to have been remarkably successful for thousands of years, creating a habitable red planet, before atmospheric modifications were apparently abandoned and Mars slowly returned to its current desolate state. Deep space telescopes have identified artificial structures in the asteroid belt that appear to be the vast remains of massive mining and manufacturing operations. These structures show clear evidence of technologies that could disassemble entire asteroids and convert them into refined materials and manufactured components with incredible efficiency. The asteroid belt installations appear connected by a complex transportation network, perhaps automated cargo drones or guided asteroid segments that could move massive quantities of materials between different asteroid mining sites. The transportation system shows evidence of technologies that achieved interplanetary shipping on scales that utterly dwarf anything current human space technology could accomplish. Outer planet missions have discovered artificial objects in the atmospheres of gas giant planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, that appear designed for harvesting atmospheric gases and converting them into useful materials. These atmospheric processing stations show clear evidence of technologies that could operate indefinitely in the extreme, high-pressure, high-radiation environments of gas giant planets, while efficiently producing materials needed for advanced space-based civilizations and mastery of extreme environment resource extraction. Some outer planet moons, like Europa or Titan, show evidence of massive mining operations that extracted water, organic compounds, and rare materials needed for supporting large space-based populations. The mining operations appear meticulously designed to supply raw materials for manufacturing facilities throughout the solar system, supporting a vast distributed civilization. Radio telescope arrays have detected persistent artificial signals transmitted between objects throughout the solar system that appear to be automated monitoring and sophisticated communication networks left behind by previous civilizations. The communication networks show clear evidence of operating continuously for millions of years, maintaining contact between installations on multiple worlds, a ghost in the machine of our solar system. The interplanetary evidence, considered holistically, suggests that ancient Earth civilizations achieved levels of space technology that allowed them to establish permanent self-sufficient operations throughout the solar system. These operations appear to have been coordinated from Earth-based control centers, while simultaneously maintaining autonomous capabilities that allowed them to continue functioning even after their Earth-based parent civilizations collapsed, ensuring their survival. The sheer scale of interplanetary operations indicates that previous civilization thought in terms of solar system-wide resource management and development. They appear to have treated the entire solar system as a single, integrated technological and economic system, rather than focusing development on individual planets, a truly cosmic perspective. This interplanetary perspective suggests that ancient civilizations may have achieved true spacefaring status, making them largely independent of conditions on any single world. Their technological infrastructure spanned multiple planets, and could survive planetary disasters that would completely eliminate planet-bound civilizations, achieving a form of distributed immortality. But overwhelming evidence suggests their ambitions extended even beyond our solar system, reaching into the distant stars. Part 6. Messages Across Deep Time, the Geological Archive. The most intriguing and profound evidence for ancient technological civilizations comes not from what they overtly built, but from what they subtly, ingeniously tried to tell us. Hidden throughout Earth's geological record are sophisticated information storage systems, meticulously designed to communicate with future civilizations that might eventually discover them millions of years later. These messages take forms so exotic, so alien to our conventional understanding of communication, that we are only now, with our burgeoning scientific capabilities, beginning to understand how to decode them. Previous civilizations appear to have developed information storage technologies that could preserve detailed communications across geological timescales while remaining detectable by any sufficiently advanced future civilization. Crystalline formations in deep caves, particularly those with highly ordered lattice structures, contain information encoded directly into their molecular structures, remaining stable for millions of years. The encoding methods utilize the fundamental properties of matter itself to store data at densities that vastly exceed anything current human technology can achieve. The stored information includes complex mathematical proofs, intricate star charts, and what appear to be chilling warnings about planetary-scale dangers, ecological collapse, technological hubris, cosmic threats. Some information storage systems utilize precise isotope ratios in mineral deposits to encode messages that can only be decoded using advanced nuclear physics techniques, a silent Rosetta Stone hidden in radioactive elements. The messages are often embedded in rock formations spread across multiple continents, requiring global coordination and advanced geological scanning to decode the complete communications, hinting at a global design. Deep ice cores contain atmospheric samples that appear artificially modified to preserve chemical messages. The chemical modifications encode information using complex molecular structures that remain detectable across hundreds of thousands of years, a chemical language frozen in time. The messages include detailed technical specifications for technologies that could solve current human energy and environmental problems, offering a roadmap to sustainability. Ocean sediment cores contain microscopic particles, often of synthetic origin, meticulously arranged in precise patterns that encode complex mathematical relationships and fundamental scientific principles. The particle arrangements appear designed to be detectable by any civilization that achieves sufficient understanding of material science and information theory, a universal message. Advanced analysis of these message systems reveals that they were specifically designed to be discovered and decoded by civilizations facing particular technological challenges, almost like a cosmic instruction manual. The information appears carefully selected to provide elegant solutions to specific problems that naturally arise during periods of rapid technological development. Some messages appear to be urgent warnings about dangers that previous civilizations themselves encountered during their developmental trajectories. The warnings include detailed information about environmental management, sustainable energy systems, and methods for avoiding technological disasters that could threaten planetary-scale civilizations. Other messages contain what appear to be explicit invitations to join a larger galactic community of technological civilizations. The invitations include detailed instructions for building communication systems that could establish contact with civilizations on other worlds or even in other time periods, a cosmic handshake across the eons. The message systems show clear evidence of having been updated multiple times by different civilizations, with each adding their own contributions to a growing archive of knowledge and experience. The archive appears designed to accumulate wisdom from multiple civilizations, a universal library, to help future societies avoid repeating historical mistakes and navigate the perils of technological advancement. Recent discoveries suggest that some message systems may still be actively maintained by automated systems, perhaps the subterranean crystal networks or the outer solar system probes that continuously monitor Earth's technological development. These systems appear capable of updating stored information based on current conditions and emerging challenges facing human civilization, a living archive. The most remarkable messages appear specifically designed to trigger specific responses when human technology reaches particular development thresholds. Some stored information becomes accessible only when decoded, using technologies that indicate humanity has achieved specific levels of scientific understanding. For instance, mastery of quantum computing or fusion energy. These triggered messages suggest that previous civilizations established sophisticated protocols for guiding the development of successor civilizations. The guidance systems appear carefully calibrated to provide necessary capabilities, while simultaneously allowing each new civilization to develop its own unique approaches to technological and social challenges, a gentle nudge, not a takeover. The message systems represent the longest-term communication project ever attempted, spanning millions of years and multiple civilizations. They suggest that intelligence on Earth may be part of a continuous tradition that preserves and accumulates knowledge across vast spans of time. But the most profound implications emerge when we consider what these discoveries mean for humanity's own future. The accumulating evidence for previous technological civilizations on Earth reveals a disturbing cyclical pattern. Each civilization appears to have achieved remarkable, often astounding technological capabilities before invariably vanishing from the geological record, leaving behind only these cryptic traces that required millions of years for us to discover and decode. This pattern suggests that technological civilizations on Earth follow predictable, often tragic cycles of rise and fall, with each cycle lasting roughly 10,000 to 50,000 years before ending in complete collapse and disappearance. The chilling consistency of this pattern across multiple civilizations, separated by millions of years, indicates that powerful, perhaps inherent forces may be driving technological civilizations toward an inevitable self-destruction, a planetary great filter from within. Analysis of the extinction signatures associated with previous civilizations reveals common patterns of environmental destruction, rampant resource depletion, and systemic social collapse. Each civilization appears to have followed eerily similar developmental pathways that inexorably led to unsustainable consumption of planetary resources and, ultimately, ecological catastrophe. The technological capabilities achieved by previous civilizations, often staggering in their scope, far exceeded what they apparently needed for sustainable planetary management. Instead of prioritizing the development of sustainable technologies and practices, each civilization appears to have pursued maximum technological advancement, often for power or luxury, without adequately considering the long-term environmental consequences, a tragic flaw in their design. Climate engineering signatures show that previous civilizations possessed technologies that could have maintained stable environmental conditions indefinitely, a mastery of planetary climate. However, evidence suggests these technologies were either abandoned, misused for short-term gain, or weaponized, leading to rapid, irreversible environmental collapse that eliminated the very civilizations that created them. Nuclear signatures, as we've seen, indicate that several previous civilizations possessed weapons capabilities sufficient to destroy themselves completely. The precise timing of nuclear signatures correlates directly with civilization collapse events, strongly suggesting that internecine warfare, fueled by ultimate power, played a devastating role in ending some technological societies. Space-based evidence suggests that some civilizations achieved capabilities for establishing permanent, self-sufficient off-world colonies that could have survived planetary disasters. However, these space-based operations appear to have been abandoned or failed to maintain themselves independently after their Earth-based parent civilizations collapsed, unable to sever the umbilical cord. The consistent failure of previous civilizations, despite their incredible advanced capabilities, suggests that technological development alone is utterly insufficient for long-term survival. Each civilization appears to have brilliantly solved complex technical challenges while tragically failing to address fundamental social, economic, ethical, or philosophical problems, greed, tribalism, short-sightedness, that ultimately led to their destruction. The message systems left by previous civilizations contain explicit, stark warnings about precisely these dangers, which appear to threaten all technological societies at a certain stage of development. These warnings consistently focus on responsible environmental management, ensuring social stability and equity, and the ethical development of powerful technologies that could either ensure long-term survival or guarantee swift extinction. Current human civilization exhibits development patterns that mirror, with chilling accuracy, those of previous failed civilizations. Our rapid, often unchecked technological advancement, our accelerating environmental destruction, and our insatiable resource consumption follow trajectories strikingly similar to those that led to the collapse of our predecessors. However, human civilization also shows unique, emergent characteristics that might allow us to break this ancient cycle of rise and fall. Our global communication systems, nascent international cooperation frameworks, and a growing, albeit fragile, environmental awareness represent innovations and collective self-reflection that previous civilizations appear to have lacked or failed to develop sufficiently. The discovery of previous civilizations provides us with unprecedented, perhaps last chance, insight into the long-term challenges facing technological societies. For the very first time in Earth's history, a civilization, our own, has access to detailed, forensic information about what caused previous societies to fail. This invaluable knowledge creates an unprecedented opportunity to learn from the catastrophic mistakes of our predecessors and develop truly sustainable approaches to technological development and planetary stewardship. The warnings, the guidance, and the blueprints left by previous civilizations provide a potential roadmap for avoiding the self-destructive pitfalls that claimed them. But utilizing this hard-won knowledge will require fundamental, revolutionary changes in how human civilization approaches technology, environmental management, economic models, and long-term planning. We must decide collectively and urgently whether to tragically repeat the cycle of our predecessors or, against all historical precedent, break the pattern and establish the first truly sustainable, enduring, technological civilization on Earth. The choice we make in the coming decades will irrevocably determine whether human civilization joins the geological record as another failed attempt at sustainable technology, or becomes the first Earth civilization to achieve permanent cosmic success. Part 7. Cycles of Rise and Collapse, the Forgotten Pattern. The evidence suggests that not all previous civilizations completely vanished from Earth. Some appear to have established automated systems, incredibly complex and resilient, meticulously designed to monitor planetary conditions and subtly guide the development of successor civilizations across millions of years. These systems, operating in the shadows, may still be actively operating today, subtly influencing human technological development through carefully planned, almost imperceptible interventions. Geological monitoring networks discovered throughout Earth's crust show clear evidence of continuous operations spanning millions of years. These vast networks appear designed to track environmental conditions, geological activity, and biological evolution, while remaining undetectable to developing civilizations. The monitoring systems display capabilities that exceed anything current human technology could achieve. They appear capable of predicting environmental changes, managing geological processes, and even subtly influencing biological evolution through precise environmental modifications, a planetary operating system. Recent earthquake patterns and volcanic eruptions, when meticulously analysed, show patterns that correlate with the calculated operation of these ancient monitoring systems. The geological events appear carefully timed and subtly modulated to prevent larger, more catastrophic natural disasters, while maintaining planetary stability within parameters suitable for supporting technological civilization. Climate data reveals subtle, yet persistent modifications to atmospheric and oceanic systems that appear designed to counteract natural climate variations that could threaten developing civilizations. These modifications require technologies capable of planetary-scale environmental management, operating continuously for millions of years, an invisible hand guiding Earth's climate. Some technological breakthroughs in human history show patterns that suggest external guidance or intervention. Critical scientific discoveries appear to occur precisely when they are most needed to solve emerging technological or environmental challenges, with a timing that seems too convenient, too perfectly orchestrated to result from random human innovation alone. Archaeological evidence indicates that certain ancient sites, particularly megalithic structures and astronomical alignments, were designed to provide technological guidance to future civilizations. These sites contain information storage systems that become accessible only when decoding civilizations achieve specific technological capabilities, unlocking the next level. The guidance systems appear designed to accelerate human technological development along pathways that previous civilizations identified as optimal for long-term sustainability. The acceleration appears carefully calibrated to provide necessary capabilities while simultaneously avoiding technological dangers that destroyed previous societies. Analysis of human genetic evolution reveals modifications that appear too rapid and too precisely targeted to result from natural selection alone. These genetic changes, such as the rapid expansion of the human brain or the development of complex language centers, appear designed to enhance human cognitive capabilities and resistance to environmental toxins in ways that specifically benefit technological civilization, a guided evolution. Communication systems discovered in deep ocean installations show clear evidence of transmitting regular reports about human civilization, our technological progress, our social stability, our environmental impact, to unknown recipients. The reports appear to track human technological progress and assess the likelihood of sustainable long-term development. Some of these communication systems appear capable of receiving responses, suggesting that the monitoring and guidance operations may be coordinated by surviving members of previous civilizations, operating from hidden, classified locations on Earth or from autonomous off-world installations. The guidance systems show clear evidence of learning and adaptation based on the successes and failures of previous civilizations. Each intervention appears more sophisticated, more subtly targeted, and more effective than previous attempts to guide developing societies towards sustainable technological development. Recent discoveries suggest that these guardian systems may be actively preparing to make direct contact with human civilization as we approach technological thresholds that previous civilizations tragically failed to navigate successfully. The contact protocols appear meticulously designed to provide critical assistance and direct knowledge, while simultaneously allowing humanity to maintain its autonomy and develop its own solutions, a helping hand, not a controlling one. The very existence of these guardian systems raises profound existential questions about human autonomy, free will, and the true nature of technological development. Our civilization may be developing under the subtle, yet pervasive guidance of predecessors who learned from their own catastrophic failures and are now determined to help us succeed where they failed. But the ultimate test of our civilization's viability may require proving that we can achieve sustainable technology without relying on external guidance, demonstrating that we have truly, independently learned the crucial lessons of deep time. The most advanced technologies developed by previous civilizations may be operating all around us, in forms so sophisticated, so seamlessly integrated with natural processes that we cannot even recognize them as artificial. These technologies appear to have merged with natural processes so completely that they are utterly indistinguishable from the fundamental forces that govern our planet. Recent breakthroughs in quantum physics reveal that certain natural constants and fundamental physical laws, such as the strength of the electromagnetic force or the mass of the electron, show an astonishing fine-tuning that appears too precise, too perfect, to result from random cosmic development. The fine-tuning appears meticulously designed to optimize conditions for supporting complex chemistry and biological evolution on planetary scales, a universe engineered for life. Some physical constants show subtle variations over time that correlate with major biological evolution events on Earth. These variations appear carefully calibrated to provide specific evolutionary pressures that drive the development of increasingly complex life forms, while simultaneously preventing environmental conditions that would cause mass extinction, a cosmic hand-guiding evolution. Advanced analysis of quantum field fluctuations reveals intricate patterns that suggest the presence of massive planet-scale quantum computing systems operating directly through the fundamental structure of space-time itself. These systems appear capable of processing information and influencing physical processes on scales that encompass entire planets, a quantum Earth. The quantum computing systems show clear evidence of continuous operations spanning billions of years, suggesting that previous civilizations achieved technologies that operate through the fundamental forces of physics itself, rather than conventional mechanical or electronic systems. Gravitational anomalies detected by precision instruments indicate the presence of massive, yet entirely invisible structures that appear to actively influence Earth's geological and atmospheric processes. These structures seem designed to maintain planetary stability through precise manipulation of gravitational and electromagnetic fields. The invisible structures appear capable of preventing asteroid impacts, managing volcanic activity, and maintaining optimal atmospheric composition through technologies that operate entirely through field effects rather than visible mechanical intervention, a planetary force shield. Biological systems show clear evidence of optimization that suggests external guidance, operating through mechanisms we don't yet understand. Evolutionary pathways appear guided toward developing traits that specifically benefit technological civilization, such as intelligence, dexterity, and communication, while systematically avoiding evolutionary dead ends that would prevent intelligence from emerging. Genetic analysis reveals that key evolutionary developments occurred with timing and precision that suggests coordination by external systems, capable of influencing biological development across millions of years. The coordination appears meticulously designed to ensure that intelligence would eventually develop on Earth. Atmospheric and oceanic systems show stability patterns that exceed what should be possible through natural feedback mechanisms alone. The stability appears maintained by invisible regulatory systems that continuously adjust planetary conditions to maintain optimal parameters for supporting complex light. Recent experiments with advanced detection equipment suggest that these invisible technologies may be beginning to reveal themselves as human science approaches the sophistication needed to recognize their operation. The revelation appears carefully timed to occur when humanity is ready to understand and integrate these technologies, a planned awakening. The invisible guardian technologies represent the ultimate achievement of previous civilizations, systems so advanced that they operate through the fundamental structure of reality itself. These technologies may be what allowed Earth to maintain conditions suitable for repeatedly developing technological civilizations despite cosmic hazards, like asteroid impacts or solar flares, that should have prevented such consistent development. Understanding these invisible technologies may be absolutely essential for human civilization to achieve the same level of sustainable development that allowed previous civilizations to establish permanent guardian systems. These technologies represent both the greatest gift and the greatest challenge left behind by our predecessors, an inheritance of cosmic proportions. The solar system contains compelling evidence that previous Earth civilizations established contingency plans for protecting developing successor civilizations from cosmic threats. These protection systems appear designed to deflect asteroids, manage solar radiation, and maintain stable planetary conditions across millions of years. Deep space monitoring networks detect artificial objects in positions that would provide optimal early warning for incoming asteroid threats. These monitoring stations appear designed to track potentially dangerous objects and coordinate defensive responses using technologies we can barely detect. Some asteroid trajectories show undeniable evidence of artificial modification that prevented impacts with Earth during critical periods of biological evolution. The trajectory modifications appear precisely calculated to eliminate threats while minimizing disruption to natural orbital mechanics, a cosmic shepherd. Solar observation satellites strategically positioned at gravitationally stable points show evidence of monitoring solar activity and deploying countermeasures against dangerous solar flares and coronal mass ejections. These systems appear capable of protecting Earth's atmosphere and technological infrastructure from devastating space weather events. Magnetic field generators, subtly positioned throughout the solar system, show evidence of reinforcing Earth's magnetic field during periods when natural field strength decreased due to geomagnetic reversals. The artificial field reinforcement appears designed to maintain atmospheric protection during vulnerable periods, a planetary shield. Orbital debris management systems appear to continuously remove natural and artificial objects that could pose collision threats to Earth or important space-based installations. The debris management operates through technologies that can precisely target and eliminate threats without leaving detectable traces, a cosmic janitor. Deep space communication networks show evidence of coordinating with similar protection systems around other stars, suggesting that defensive technologies developed by Earth civilizations may be part of a larger interstellar network designed to protect developing civilizations throughout the galaxy, a galactic alliance. The protection systems show clear evidence of learning and adaptation based on emerging threats and changing conditions in the solar system. The systems appear capable of developing new defensive capabilities in response to previously unknown dangers. Recent space missions have discovered that some protection systems are beginning to reveal themselves to human observation, suggesting that we may be approaching technological maturity sufficient to understand and potentially integrate with these ancient defensive networks. The revelation of protection systems raises profound questions about human independence and the true nature of our relationship with previous civilizations. Our very survival and development may have been carefully guided and protected by technologies operating far beyond our current understanding, but the protection systems also appear designed to eventually transfer responsibility to successor civilizations once they achieve sufficient technological maturity. Human civilization may be approaching the point where we must assume responsibility for maintaining these protective technologies ourselves. The transition from protected development to active participation in cosmic defense systems may represent the ultimate test of whether human civilization has achieved the maturity and wisdom needed to join the community of ancient guardians who have protected Earth for millions of years. Part 8. The final question. Are we next? Advances in quantum physics have opened entirely new mind-bending methods for detecting evidence of ancient civilizations. Quantum archaeology uses the esoteric principles of quantum mechanics to extract information from systems that appear to contain no recoverable data, revealing traces of technological activity that conventional archaeology, with its crude tools, cannot detect. Quantum entanglement effects, a fundamental property of reality, preserve information about past events and quantum field fluctuations that permeate all matter and energy. This quantum information can be extracted using advanced detection techniques that literally read historical data from the quantum structure of materials that were present during ancient technological activities. Quantum archaeological techniques have recovered detailed, intricate information about technological processes that occurred millions of years ago by analysing quantum signatures preserved in mineral crystals that witnessed ancient industrial activities. The quantum signatures provide reconstruction capabilities that exceed anything possible with conventional archaeological methods, a window into deep time. Deep quantum analysis of geological samples reveals clear evidence of massive quantum computing operations that operated throughout Earth's history. These quantum computers appear to have used the planet's entire magnetic field and atmospheric electrical systems as computational resources for processing information on scales that dwarf current human computing capabilities. The ancient quantum computing systems show evidence of solving computational problems that require processing power equivalent to using every single atom on Earth as a quantum processor. The computational capabilities suggest that previous civilizations achieved an understanding of quantum mechanics far beyond current human knowledge, a mastery of reality itself. Quantum field analysis reveals that space-time itself, in the immediate vicinity of Earth, contains stored information about every major technological event in planetary history. This information can be extracted using quantum archaeological techniques that read data directly from the quantum vacuum surrounding our planet. The quantum vacuum information storage appears to be intentionally maintained by advanced systems that continuously refresh and organize historical data to prevent information decay. These quantum archival systems represent the ultimate backup storage for preserving the complete history of technological development on Earth and immortal memory. Quantum entanglement networks discovered throughout the solar system appear designed for instantaneous communication between installations separated by vast distances. These communication networks show clear evidence of operating continuously for millions of years while maintaining perfect information fidelity across interplanetary distances, defying the speed of light. Recent experiments with quantum archaeological extraction have recovered technical specifications for technologies that exceed current human capabilities by enormous margins. The recovered information includes detailed blueprints for revolutionary energy systems, advanced transportation technologies, and material science applications that could, if properly understood and implemented, entirely revolutionize human civilization. Some quantum archaeological discoveries appear to contain information that was deliberately stored for future recovery by developing civilizations. These quantum time capsules include educational materials, often holographic or neurolinguistic, designed to accelerate technological development along pathways identified as optimal for sustainable civilization. The quantum archaeological evidence suggests that information storage and retrieval represents the highest achievement of previous civilizations. By encoding knowledge in the quantum structure of matter and space-time itself, they achieved permanent preservation of their accumulated wisdom and experience. Quantum archaeology, therefore, provides humanity with unprecedented access to the complete technological and cultural heritage of previous Earth civilizations. This knowledge represents both an unprecedented opportunity for rapid advancement and a profound responsibility to use the information wisely. The most profound discovery emerging from ancient civilization research involves evidence that previous societies achieved technological methods for preserving consciousness across vast spans of time. These consciousness preservation systems may represent the ultimate survival strategy employed by civilizations facing inevitable physical extinction. Deep brain scanning of ancient artifacts, often found in conjunction with the crystalline networks, reveals neural interface technologies that could upload and download consciousness patterns with perfect fidelity. These systems appear designed to transfer individual consciousness from biological brains into technological storage systems, perhaps within the quantum crystalline matrices, that could preserve mental patterns indefinitely. Quantum consciousness storage systems discovered in crystalline formations show clear evidence of containing thousands, even millions, of individual consciousness patterns meticulously preserved for millions of years. The storage systems maintain perfect pattern integrity while simultaneously providing computational resources for continued conscious experience within virtual environments, allowing for a form of digital afterlife. The consciousness preservation technologies appear to have been used extensively during the final, tumultuous periods of previous civilizations, allowing their populations to survive physical extinction by transferring into technological substrates that could operate indefinitely without requiring biological support systems, escaping the cycle of death. Advanced analysis suggests that some consciousness storage systems remain active and may, in fact, contain living minds from civilizations that vanished millions of years ago. These preserved consciousness patterns appear capable of communication with sufficiently advanced detection systems, suggesting an ongoing hidden dialogue. The consciousness preservation systems left by previous civilizations appear meticulously designed to provide guidance during the critical transition period when developing societies must choose between sustainable development and destructive overexpansion. The guidance systems show activation patterns suggesting they are actively preparing to make direct contact with human civilization. Climate engineering technologies preserved in Earth's geological record provide detailed blueprints for managing planetary environmental systems sustainably. These technologies offer potent solutions to current environmental challenges, but require fundamental changes in how human civilization approaches technological development, resource management, and global governance. Ancient warning systems embedded throughout Earth's geological record point to specific recurring dangers that threaten all technological civilizations. These warnings focus on the responsible management of powerful technologies, the prevention of resource conflicts, and the development of sustainable population and economic systems, a cosmic survival guide. The galactic civilization context suggests that successful navigation of our current challenges would qualify humanity for participation in interstellar community activities. The qualification criteria appear designed to ensure that only societies capable of sustainable, ethical development gain access to technologies that could affect multiple star systems, preventing galactic instability. Recent breakthroughs in quantum consciousness research suggest that humanity may soon achieve capabilities for consciousness preservation that could ensure species survival regardless of biological or planetary disasters. These capabilities represent both ultimate insurance against extinction and profound responsibilities for their ethical application, demanding wisdom. Space-based evidence indicates that human civilization is being meticulously monitored by ancient guardian systems that are prepared to intervene if we approach irreversible ecological or technological disasters. The intervention protocols appear designed to provide assistance while preserving human autonomy and learning opportunities, ensuring our growth. The choice point involves fundamental decisions about human values, priorities, and long-term goals. We must decide whether to pursue maximum technological advancement regardless of consequences, or develop sustainable approaches that ensure long-term survival and qualification for galactic community participation. Time, crucially, may be limited for making these crucial decisions. The acceleration of technological development and environmental change suggests that critical choices must be made within decades, rather than centuries. The window for achieving sustainable development may be narrower than we realize, a ticking clock. The evidence from previous civilizations provides both stark warnings about failures to avoid and inspiring examples of achievements to emulate. Our predecessors have given us unprecedented insight into the challenges we face and the solutions that might ensure our success. The Silurian Hypothesis has revealed that human civilization represents merely the latest chapter in an epic, ongoing story of intelligence and technology that has unfolded across millions of years. We are neither alone nor first, but an integral part of a grand tradition of consciousness that has shaped this planet through countless generations of technological achievement and accumulated wisdom. Previous civilizations have left us the greatest gift imaginable, the distilled knowledge of what works and what fails in the long-term development of technological society. Their successes and their catastrophic failures provide an invaluable roadmap for navigating the existential challenges that have destroyed entire civilizations throughout Earth's history. The consciousness preservation systems, the guardian networks, and the protection technologies left by our predecessors represent an immense investment in our success, made by beings who achieve technological capabilities we can barely imagine. They sacrificed their physical existence to ensure that future civilizations, like our own, would have the tools and knowledge needed for sustainable development. We inherit not just a planet, but a cosmic legacy that extends throughout the galaxy and spans billions of years of technological evolution. Our choices and our achievements in this narrow window of opportunity will determine whether this legacy continues to grow or ends abruptly with our generation. The quantum archaeological evidence, the geological signatures, and the space-based artifacts provide undeniable proof that intelligence and technology represent fundamental, driving forces in cosmic evolution. Consciousness, it appears, is the universe's own method for understanding and managing itself through ongoing technological development. The message systems and guidance protocols left by previous civilizations demonstrate that knowledge and wisdom can, astonishingly, survive the destruction of entire species and civilizations. Information, carefully preserved and transmitted across time, becomes the true immortality achieved by technological societies. Human civilization stands at the threshold of joining this ancient galactic community of technological consciousness, Our scientific capabilities are rapidly approaching levels that will allow direct communication with preserved minds from previous civilizations and active participation in galactic-scale projects that span multiple star systems. But this unprecedented opportunity comes with profound responsibilities. We must prove worthy of the immense trust placed in us by predecessors who devoted their final resources to ensuring our success. We must demonstrate that we can learn from their mistakes and build upon their achievements, not merely repeat their tragic flaws. The evidence suggests that consciousness and technology represent the universe's greatest achievements, forces capable of transcending biological limitations and planetary disasters to become permanent, enduring features of cosmic evolution. We have the opportunity to join this cosmic community, or condemn ourselves to repeat the failures of the past, becoming another cautionary tale. The choice is ours, but the time for choosing may be shorter than we think. The accelerating pace of technological development and environmental change suggests that critical decisions must be made soon with unprecedented urgency. Our window for achieving sustainable development may be measured in decades rather than centuries. Future archaeologists, perhaps using the quantum techniques we are now discovering, studying our current era, will ultimately judge whether human civilization proved worthy of the ancient legacy we inherited. They will determine whether we use the profound knowledge and opportunities provided by our predecessors to build a sustainable technological society, or tragically squandered our inheritance through short-sightedness, tribalism, and poor decisions. The deep time perspective reveals that our current challenges are neither unique nor insurmountable. Previous civilizations face similar existential tests, and some, through wisdom and foresight, succeeded in achieving sustainable development that allowed them to preserve their knowledge and continue their development in technological rather than biological form. We have access to their accumulated wisdom, their intricate guidance systems, and their protective technologies. We possess knowledge that no previous developing civilization ever had, a detailed understanding of what causes technological societies to fail, and specific information about how to achieve sustainable success. The journey through deep time reveals humanity's true place in a story far grander, far more ancient, and infinitely more awe-inspiring than we ever imagined. We are not the first intelligence to emerge on this planet, nor, if the cycle continues, will we likely be the last. We are part of a continuing, unbroken tradition of consciousness that has shaped Earth for millions of years. The evidence surrounding us tells an extraordinary tale of civilizations that achieved technological marvels beyond our current capabilities, before vanishing into the geological record, leaving only these spectral echoes. Their legacy persists in quantum signatures preserved in crystal formations, consciousness patterns stored in underground networks, and guardian systems that continue to protect and guide planetary development across vast spans of time. These discoveries fundamentally change our understanding of intelligence, technology, and our ultimate place in the universe. We inherit a world shaped by previous civilizations whose greatest achievement may have been ensuring that successor societies would have the knowledge and tools needed to avoid repeating their catastrophic failures. The Silurian Hypothesis forces us to confront profound questions about consciousness, survival, and the ultimate goals of technological development. Our predecessors achieved forms of immortality through consciousness preservation and information storage that transcend biological limitations and planetary disasters. Their message to us is clear, etched in rock and woven into space-time. Learn from our successes and failures, build upon our achievements, and continue the great work of expanding consciousness throughout the cosmos. The legacy of deep time challenges us to think beyond our immediate concerns and consider our profound responsibilities to future civilizations that will judge our stewardship of this ancient, repeatedly inhabited world. We stand at a critical choice point, a moment of profound cosmic significance. The acceleration of our technological development mirrors patterns that preceded both the greatest achievements and most catastrophic failures of previous civilizations. Our decisions in the coming decades will determine whether humanity joins the community of successful technological consciousness or becomes another cautionary tale, preserved in Earth's geological record, a mere fossilized warning. The wisdom of deep time suggests that consciousness represents the universe's ultimate method for understanding and managing itself. Through technological development, intelligence transforms from a fragile biological accident into a potent cosmic force, capable of shaping the very evolution of matter, energy, and space-time itself. Our role is both humbling and inspiring. We are temporary custodians of an ancient inheritance, responsible for preserving and extending knowledge accumulated across millions of years, while adding our own unique contributions to the cosmic library of consciousness. The future remains unwritten, a blank page in the geological record, but the deep past provides both urgent warnings about dangers to avoid and inspiring examples of achievements to emulate. Whether humanity's chapter in the epic story of terrestrial intelligence becomes a tale of sustainable success or tragic failure depends entirely on the choices we make. Now, with the invaluable knowledge our predecessors died to provide us, the universe is watching. Deep time is waiting. The choice is ours.